Everyone knew that Pakistani ISI and their army was giving ammonium nitrate to the dealers in Pakistan, and they were shipping it across the border to Afghanistan, which were used in killing American soldiers. The amount of pain Pakistan has inflicted upon America has never happened before. Behind all of the problems that America had in that region and still faces, all the threats, is the hand of the Pakistani government, the general headquarters, and the Pakistani ISI, their CIA, Pakistani CIA, basically. Look at what the Pakistanis did, how they harbored the Taliban and bin Laden when we went in. So going back to 2001 now, all the Taliban commanders went into Pakistan. They were given safe haven in Quetta and Peshawar and Islamabad, protected by the Pakistanis. They held weddings in Pakistan, out in the public. The Pakistanis knew about it. They didn't do anything. Now, 2003, 2004, when the Taliban started coming back to Afghanistan to carry out attacks, who funded them? The Pakistanis. All of the veterans listening to this, they know what I'm talking about when I say IED attacks in Afghanistan. They all faced it. Where did the ammonium nitrate for those IEDs come from? Afghanistan does not produce ammonium nitrate. In fact, ammonium nitrate has been banned in Afghanistan since the days of the king, and ammonium nitrate is the main component in that IED. Where did it come from? It didn't come from Mars. It didn't land in Afghanistan. Somebody gave that to the Taliban. Now investigate that. Pakistan produces ammonium nitrate, and everyone knew this. No one did anything about it. Everyone knew that Pakistani ISI and their army was giving ammonium nitrate to the dealers in Pakistan, and they were shipping it across the border to Afghanistan, which were used in killing American soldiers. Look at Congressman Brian Mast of Florida. If you ever go in Congress and you see him, you will quickly realize that the guy is a wounded veteran. He used to be Staff Sergeant Brian Mast. Now he's congressman. He doesn't have legs. What happened to his legs? He was deployed to Afghanistan. He served in Helmand and Kandahar. There was an IED attack. He lost his legs. Where did the ammonium nitrate come from? Back then, he was Staff Sergeant Brian Mast. He didn't have authority to do anything about it. Now he's Congressman Brian Mast. He's in a position to get the answers. For all the other veterans, for me, for you, for himself, where did that ammonium nitrate come from? Talk about the August 27th attack, Abbey Gate bombing. Where did the ammonium nitrate come from? Look at Tyler Vargas Andrews and his condition, right? We spoke about him earlier. Where did that ammonium nitrate come from?
Pakistan.
While Pakistanis were doing this, you know what the U.S. government was doing? Under President Bush, to some extent, a lot under President Obama. The U.S. government gave upwards of $70 billion to the Pakistani military and ISI while they were funding the Taliban, while they were hosting bin Laden, while the Taliban were carrying out attacks against American soldiers. American government was giving money to the Pakistanis. For counter-terrorism purposes, they called it. Do you know where bin Laden was found? Outside of Pakistan's West Point. Pakistan's West Point. They were hosting him. That same year that SEALs, you guys went and killed bin Laden, that same year Pakistan was given about $3 billion for counter-terrorism purposes. And they used that same money and they gave it to the Taliban, and it ended up in Afghanistan in form of ammunition and ammonium nitrate, and it killed American soldiers. There is so much that the Pakistani government has done. It's just unimaginable, the amount of pain that they have caused. Those Gold Star families, those wounded veterans, 50,000 wounded veterans from the Afghan war. About 70% of all the casualties, 60% of all the casualties, our casualties, American casualties in Afghanistan, were as a result of IED. If you go to Arlington National Cemetery and look for the graves of 100 American soldiers from the Afghan war, out of those 100, 60 of them died as a result of ammonium nitrate, as a result of ammonium nitrate that was given to the Taliban by the Pakistani ISI. No one is talking about it.
Well, there will be now.
I hope so.
Does Iran tie into this at all?
Yes.
How so?
To some extent. Well, the reason Pakistan supported Taliban were for different reasons, ideological reasons. The reason Iranians, to a certain extent, and I'll give you a bit background. During the first reign of the Taliban, when the Taliban had first come to power in 1996, Iran used to support the resistance to fight against the Taliban. They had no links with the Taliban. Iran, in fact, back then almost went to war. They had their forces at the border and were about to go and destroy the Taliban regime. You know who stopped it? The United Nations. But Iran at that point was supporting the resistance. The reason certain factions along the border of Iran started supporting the Taliban while we were there was to put pressure on America to leave. Now keep in mind, America was in Iraq, America was in Afghanistan, Iran is right in the middle. I don't agree with what the Iranians did, the government of Iran did, as far as supporting the Taliban while we were there, but their reason was not the same as the reason of the Pakistanis. Iran wanted America out of the picture, and I think they made a mistake because they didn't think about the second order effect of their decision. So they gave money to the Taliban, not a lot, some, and to put pressure on the US to leave, and we left. And now Iran is left with the Taliban. And so they cannot stop the support for the Taliban all of a sudden, and they certainly don't want to give any funding to the Taliban. So they're stuck. They don't know what to do. America left. Taliban are there. And they pose a threat to everyone, the Iranians, the Pakistanis. There are suicide bombings inside Pakistan. On a daily basis, the Taliban attack Pakistanis, and they kill Pakistani soldiers on a daily basis. Pakistan raised a snake, it fed a snake, hoping and thinking that this snake would only bite its neighbor to the west in Afghanistan. Now that snake has come to Pakistan. It's like chickens come home to roost, right? Now America is making the same mistake that the Pakistanis made. Now America is funding the Taliban, hoping that the Taliban will not go international. But, they will go international.
No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.